multiple rounds of severe weather is expected Saturday night, but especially Sunday and into Monday night time frame. Taking a look at taking a look at more high resolution model. Saturday evening, the severe weather should mainly be over the South Dakota area. Saturday evening time frame, but there could be some severe weather for portions of Wisconsin as well, if storms can actually initiate along a boundary at the sunset or around sunset time frame. Now, Sunday morning there will likely be a complex that will develop sometime Sunday morning for the west, and then this will continue to race and dive southeast through portions of the Great Lakes region Sunday afternoon and evening time frame, which will have a chance to produce intense danger wind gusts of 80 plus mile an hour. But the exact area will likely change over the coming 48 hours or so, especially 12 to 24 hours, I'd say. So don't take this to heart, but at least have a complex in the Great Lakes region. Sunday, and then again, as we move to Monday time frame, a complex will likely develop early in the day again, with another shortwave pushing in early on, and then it would also dive southeast south through Monday evening time frame, likely producing intense wind gusts as well. But the tornado threat will remain low. It appears with more of a northwest flow and squall line events, they tend to not really produce much tornadoes. But one thing for certain is there will be a lot of moisture in place. This really moves in Saturday time frame with dew points in the upper 70s to close to 80 dew points through portions of the corn belt as the corn begins to sweat. For Sunday we see dew points will likely be around 80 across a large area of the corn belt, so plenty of moisture will be in place. And then on Monday we see dew points up to 80 as well Monday afternoon evening time frame, with a sharp gradient setting up for Monday, so that will be fueled by the complex of thunderstorms. On a side note, because of the very hot temperatures and high dew points, we are going to have extreme heat in place Sunday and Monday. Heat index values up to 115 degrees are likely for portions of the Corn Belt region Sunday, and then again Monday we will also have more extreme heat with heat index upwards of 115 degrees over very similar areas Monday before a complex pushes in as well. So very high heat with this weather is all going to come together to likely produce a couple of complexes of thunderstorms. Taking a look at the upper air data now, dynamics, the mid-level flow, we see a trough pushing in Saturday, but the main trough, the shortwave trough I'm watching is Sunday, and organized and stronger than yesterday's shortwave. I'm at model runs now for Sunday afternoon time frame, has a shortwave over Minnesota and Iowa, pushing southeast into the Corn Belt. Now, looking at this map, the shortwave is right here. You have a smaller area of increased mid-level flow that tends to produce quite a bit of severe weather, and it has this year. Shortwaves have produced a lot of severe weather this year compared to large-scale troughs. So as this shortwave continues to race southeast, there will likely be a complex that rides on the edge of the shortwave, which will match for portions of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe to Illinois Sunday night time frame. So the upper air dynamics are certainly there for severe weather as well. Now there will be, because of the very high dew points, very hot conditions, storm fuel will be extreme. We're looking at, this may be a little bit too high because it's the NAM model overall. It can be a bit dramatic, but extreme storm fuel likely being placed up towards probably 4,000 joules. Probably not 5,000, but it's possible. 4,000, 5,000 joules of storm fuel Sunday time frame, which is very high, even for July. And another day on Monday of extreme storm fuel will be in place on a sharp gradient actually for dew points and storm fuel. So that could definitely produce a derecho on this edge of this boundary as well. So again, the environment will be very unstable for intense thunderstorms. Just seems like a lot of things are coming together as long as they cap your roads. Sunday and Monday producing multiple rounds of severe weather that could be on the outbreak side of things. Model guidance struggles on the exact placement of the boundaries. So for Sunday and Monday, it's the same thing with this. So that makes it a bit more uncertain on where the complex will actually go for Sunday and Monday's time frame. Because a further southwest boundary than what model guidance shows, that will will put the placement of the complex further southwest. But for Monday, or Sunday or Monday, if it's further north, it puts the complex a bit further north. And model guidance do disagree a little bit on the placement of the boundary for Sunday and Monday time frame. And Monday will all depend on what Sunday does. And if there is thunderstorm Saturday night, the rain Saturday night will also depend on what Sunday will do as well. I mean, if there's rain Saturday night, the boundary is a little bit further south for Sunday usually. That's how it's been going for this year, and that's often what happens. So again, there's a lot at play to show the placement of these complexes will go. I'm very confident there will be at least one damaging complex that could get close to derecho criteria Sunday and or Monday. But the exact placement, I'm a little bit low confidence on because of the boundary placement. Now, for Monday, let's say that this is right, the name is right for Monday. The boundary placement will be from St. Paul area down into Wisconsin. Wisconsin down into the Chicago area. This would put the complex over St. Paul area down to Cedar Rapids, Davenport, Chicago area, Monday afternoon, evening time frame. But further south, obviously, Des Moines is in play. Omaha might be in play if it's that far south. I doubt it. But for the north, it puts more of Wisconsin in play rather than Iowa. So again, the placement of the warm front or any boundary, outflow boundary, whatever, is key on where the placement of these complexes would go. I always say this because there's times where model guidance still struggles 3 hours before it even develops, but then it develops and we know a lot more about it. So I would definitely just be aware if you know things go from a slight risk to a moderate risk or something like that. It's because confidence increased on the exact placement of these complexes happening. But taking a look at the European model for convection for Sunday evening time frame, and again a pretty similar look with a complex diving into Wisconsin, Minnesota down to Iowa for Sunday evening. So a pretty large area of a complex or clusters of thunderstorms. Now, this is more of a long range model. I'm assuming that it won't be this disorganized. I'm assuming it'll probably be one organized complex with maybe another, a few storms somewhere. But I doubt there'll be 3 or 4 different complexes of thunderstorms Sunday evening time frame. But it does at least have thunderstorms developing, and then through Sunday night, this looks to be an alternate Sunday night type of thing into Monday time frame, and another complex or so will push south Monday afternoon, evening time frame into the Great Lakes region as well. So pretty good agreement on model guidance for these complexes of thunderstorms for both days. Also, there will be a lot of downdraft Cape storm fuel for Sunday and Monday time frame as well, and that is it'd be plenty good enough to get a complex with a lot of damaging winds to take place. When you have higher D Cape, downdraft Cape, you can get these complexes that don't have to be very strong to still produce a lot of downdraft winds, that could reach 80 plus mile an hour, or straight line winds as well. So there'll be very high, well, not very high, but definitely on the higher side for downdraft Cape for Sunday, and then again on Monday as well. And that will just be another ingredient that will be in place to get a complex to happen. So a lot of things are coming together. Again, for a long-lived complex Sunday and Monday time frame, that could be more on the intense side. And who knows, maybe it could reach derecho criteria. But again, even if not derecho criteria, it will still act like one. A derecho does not mean 120 mile an hour wind gusts or higher. It's not like not every derecho was like the one in August of 2020. A derecho can be rather weak still to say. It's just when a derecho happens, a derecho happens. So we talk about it. I mean, again, a derecho, you'll need 58 mile an hour wind gusts with maybe isolated gusts of 74 plus mile an hour for a derecho. But the twist here is it has to reach 400 miles an hour or longer to be considered a derecho. So there is quite a bit of criteria with it. But either way, I would definitely keep up to date on the weather over the coming days, and I will have a lot more updates and videos through the next few days talking about this. And tomorrow we will have more model guidance to look at and maybe more exact on the timing for the Sunday's time frame.